Here's a quick video demonstration of how you put together an electric foil. So the first thing you'll need obviously is a blade. If you're putting together a French grip blade, then obviously you'll need a full length tang. If you're putting together a pistol grip, then you need a short tang. Now you can buy a long tang and cut it down, or you can order one that is pre-cut. If you're cutting down the tang, you need to measure 7.5 centimeters to mark the spot where to cut. Then you can just cut it in a vise with a standard saw. Now here's a pre-cut one. Now you're going to take the wire, unwrap the wire, and then the first thing you're going to need to do is set the blade. Now for setting the blade, the reason you do this is when you're on guard and facing your opponent, you want the tip to be brought slightly to the left and slightly down so it's more in line with a fencer when you're in the on guard position. So to do that for a right-handed fencer, you pop it in the vise, and then it's a question of just bending. And if it's a margin blade that this is, it is quite strong and you need to put quite a lot of effort into it, so you need quite a solid vise. Or bench mounted vise. The next step is to add the guard, and you'll notice that there's a notch in the top of the guard, and this allows the wire to fit through without the wire getting crushed, trapped or damaged. So you simply slide over the guard, and then it's time for your inside guard socket. Now this is a 2-pin socket, but you could as well have a bayonet socket depending on where you're based. Now this is crucial. You need to make sure that you feed the wire through the hole of the inside guard socket and then push it down into its rightful place. If you don't, then the inside guard socket will end up crushing the wire and breaking the electric connection. Then you need to add a pad which protects the hand. I prefer the see-through pads just because they protect the wire and allow you to see through to the wire to make sure that there are no breaks in the wire, no damages, and it means when a referee's checking it, they don't have to sort of pull up your pad to try and see inside to make sure that you're not cheating. Then you need to take a handle. Now you'll notice that the handle should have a circle or groove cut in, or a slot in the top, which will correspond with the wire. If it doesn't, you'll need to use a small file to cut a groove, and when you're putting the handle on, you need to make sure that the wire is sat in between this groove, otherwise again it will trap it and break the connection. Then we add the nut, tighten this all together to make sure that the handle is really tight. Next step is to feed the wire through the hole on the inside guard socket. So through that central hole, and it's a little bit tricky, but once you see the wire, you can then pull it through with the other hand. And now it's a question of removing this insulation. Now I actually use a point screwdriver, which is also used to doing the tip adjustments, and it's got a rough bezel around the side to give you some traction when you're tightening up a screw, and it makes a really good abrasive surface to pull the insulating sort of cotton wrap off the copper wire. Now you can see the copper wire. Now with the Leon Paul inside guard sockets, they're designed so that you can connect the wire to the very top, so you don't have to fiddle around underneath with a spanner. Just makes it much easier when you're putting them together. So then you want to trap the wire between the two metal connections, so the metal washer, the domed metal washer, and the screw on the top. And then you want to crank this down. You don't want to do it so hard that you break the wire, but obviously it needs to be tight enough so that you've got a good electrical connection. And then again, I use the tip of the screwdriver just to cut through the wire, the insulating wire. And then it's a question of just putting the pad down, putting the wire into a sort of tidy position, making sure that it's covered so that it's not going to get damaged, tucking in the parts. And then finally, with a foil, you'd need to make sure that you have some insulation tape around the top.